Steven Correño, KO Artist Sports. We're here with the great David Benavidez. Man, I know you're in Miami, brother. It's good to see you. I feel like it's been a few months since I've talked to you, man. First, I want to say congratulations, man, with the new baby, Gabe. Man, you got three. I don't know if you're gonna keep going or what's the plan, but just blessings to you and your family, brother. Just what's it like, man? I mean, is it different? Like every new kid? What talk to me about it.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to tell you thank you, bro. I appreciate it. And no, it's good, bro. Like it's more motivation, for me. This is my third kid. I'm probably gonna stop for like 2 years, because it's a lot of work. But I definitely do want to do all more kids in the future. But it's just a blessing, bro. All my kids are healthy. All my kids are good. All my kids are happy. So I'm just very excited. And now, that have my kids, I could really focus on my career and focus on, getting these fights and, getting and being the best version of myself so I could give my family the best life I could possibly give them.
Right. I saw a little video of Anthony doing the reflex back. He didn't miss. That was like he nailed it every time, man. I saw your little girl had the hand wraps on the other. Are you just like raising just a little camp of fighters there?
Yeah, we definitely got a school of fighters right now. It's a school of Benavidez boxing. So yeah, they get excited every time they see me in the gym. So I definitely do want to have them in the gym. Not my daughter, but my two boys. I'm definitely gonna put them in boxing. But right now, I'm just very excited and very motivated for the future.
Yeah, obviously, man, big fight with Anthony Yarde coming up November 22nd on a big card as well. Anthony Yarde, tough fighter on a 3-fight win streak, I believe. And he's like a full, 175-pounder, right? Obviously, Vozdek, your first time at 75 was, a guy who'd been in the weight class for a while. Morrell was moving up. I think you guys were both kind of outlasted your time at 168. With Yarde, what is it specifically you kind of want to prove to yourself, I guess, in this fight?
Well, just what I want to prove to myself is what I prove every single fight, that I am the best fighter at whatever weight class I'm in, whether it's super middleweight, light heavyweight, or in the future when I go up to cruiserweight. I just basically want to establish that I'm the best fighter in the division. Anthony Yarde is an established fighter in the division. He's fought great fights. Had a good fight with Archie Beterbiev, had a great fight with Kovalev, and like I say, he's on a 3-fight win streak. But so I want to get these established fighters, these fighters that have good names, and I want to go in there and have a great performance against them.
Yeah, man, it's a big card too. Do you know any? I don't know if this affects you at all, because I know sometimes fighters' purses are based on like pay-per-views and stuff. But I know first Turkey said that your fight was going to be like free on DAZN, and then he kind of retracted that, and now it's obviously a pay-per-view. Do you know anything about that whole situation?
So, I was really surprised in the beginning when he said it was a free pay-per-view fight, or a free fight, that was going to be no pay-per-view. But I think that if anybody's going to buy any pay-per-view, it's going to be this one. You know what I mean? I think the real hardcore boxing fans that know boxing, this is something that's worth buying. It's a fight, a card filled with champions, old champions, and then also new fighters are going to fight for belts, like Abdullah Mason. It's a great prospect. He's against a tough fighter. You got Bam Bam Rodriguez. You got Devin Haney. You got me. So this is a card of established fighters and great fighters in the new generation that's coming up. So I think he's seen that, and I think he said, like, you know what, we're going to have to put this one for sale, because this is a great fight. This is a great card, and each one of these fights could be main event on the card, and we're getting 5 of them in one night. So it's definitely a great night of boxing, and all of them are going to live up to expectation.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. I agree with you. It's there's at least 4 fights on the card that are like kind of sit down and make sure you're ready for it. I know your goal is undisputed in the division. You have the WBC now. Obviously, Bivol has the other belts. It seems like him and Beterbiev are going to kind of finish off that trilogy, kind of before anything else, right? a lot of talk has been had about your sparring with Bivol. I know Peter Berg was on Joe Rogan and said that, you know, Bivol had dropped you with a jab. I think later on he said that he had mistaken. It was actually you that dropped Bivol with a jab. I know you've said you've heard Bivol, you know, in sparring. Was that is that like you know, I don't know if you can confirm that or not. I mean, he said it, not you, right? But you know, can you confirm that? Was it you that dropped you know, Bivol with the jab?
I didn't drop him, but I rocked him. I rocked him the last time I sparred him, and it wasn't a jab. It was like a four or five punch combination. But like I said, I always tell everybody, man, I don't run with that and be like, oh yeah, I hurt him, so now I don't have to train hard because you know I already know I can hurt him. And if it's anything, it's the contrary. I know how to work extremely hard because he knows I could hurt him. I know I could hurt him, so he's gonna do everything in his power to not allow that to happen when we do fight. You know, Dmitry Bivol is a great fighter. I give him the utmost respect. But if I could hurt you in sparring, I could hurt you in the fight. And I see a lot of people saying that, oh, well, sparring is sparring. It's not the same as fighting. Those people are fucking dumb because at the end of the day, the people are saying that they never even got in the ring themselves. They don't train. They've never gone 12 rounds. They've never got in there with the world champion. So how are you going to tell me that I can't do something when I've been sparring world champions since I was 14 years old? I'm meant for this. I'm cut out for this. I'm not like these other people that don't like to go in there and spar the best out of the best or fight the best out of the best. I've been sparring world champions since I was 15. And trust me, if I can hurt a world champion in sparring, I could definitely hurt him in the fight. So all the people that say that, you know, sparring is sparring, you know, those people don't know shit. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm like, I'm tired. Just people, a lot of people have opinions, but these people, this is not their field of work. Just because they watch boxing or they think to themselves as little online commentators, they don't know anything about the sport. They've never been in there. They don't know what it takes to hurt somebody. They don't know what it takes to go 12 rounds. They don't know what it takes to run 8 miles. So for these people to tell me that I can't do something, man, just sit back and watch me do everything that you say I can't do. Because at the end of the day, this is my dream, and I know what it takes for me to get to this level. I've been at this level since I was 15 years old, and I'm just getting stronger and stronger. And when I sparred Bivol, I was 22 years old. No, 21. I didn't have the experience or the confidence I have in myself right now. You know what I mean? And I'm even stronger. I'm better. I'm more experienced, and I'm hungrier. Bivol is a great fighter, but at the end of the day, this is why I'm calling out the best fighters. You know, and nothing's ever guaranteed. But what is guaranteed is the work I put in. And when it comes to working hard, I'm second to none.
Right. No, definitely. I've seen you in the gym, and it's you know, I get tired watching you when the times I've been in the gym. You know what I mean with you. You know, I saw you do a interview with Ring Champs, and you mentioned just how, you know, Al Haymon's like family to you. You know, he comes through for fighters. Is there a time you personally where Al Haymon's kind of come through for you that you could share with us?
Yeah, he's came through for me a lot. I mean, this fight, we've been trying to get fights. You know what I mean? It took me, what did I fight? In February 1st, right? So, you know what I mean? I had to pay taxes. I had to do this. I had to do that. You know what I mean? Sometimes the money, when you only fight one time, you know, that money gets spent. You know, and he advanced me $650,000.
Wow.
I don't think that there's nobody else that would do that. I mean, obviously it's my money, but he advanced me. You know, I asked them one time, and they're like, "All right, we're gonna give it to you." You know, you know that makes things very much easier for me because I would have got if when I got the money from there, I would have found the money somewhere else. I would have got it some other way. But you know, they want me to be comfortable. They don't want me to stress. And you know what? I'm gonna fight November 22nd, so I haven't fought in like what? It been like 7 months?
Yeah.
7, 8 months. You know what I mean? I've been training this whole time, so they just want me to stay focused. You know, they don't really want me to get stressed out because of money or this and that. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I need to pay my taxes. I got bills. I got a whole bunch of shit. But they're like, you know what? If you need this, we'll advance it to you. You know, they just take it out of my check. But if they really wanted to make it hard for me, they wouldn't. They don't have to give me the money. They don't have to advance me anything. And you know, they've given me bonuses too. They've given me hundreds of thousands of bonuses. You know what I mean? And that's just out of love. Like I said, when I fought Caleb Plant, I think they gave me like $200,000 as bonus, and they didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? So, and that's why, you know, I feels like a family. PBC, Al Haymon, and at least the Kubas. what I mean? And that's why my loyalty is with them. You know what I mean? And even with this fight, with Turkey Al-Sheikh, I had told Turkey Al-Sheikh that I can't fight with him because I'm with PBC, and that if I try to jump networks, I could get put in a lawsuit. You know what I mean? You can't, when you're signed with a promotion company, you can't just fight with any other promotion company, even if you wanted to. I told Turkey Al-Sheikh that. Al Haymon and Lisa Kua said, you know what? There's an opportunity here. Let's go fight. They're the ones who told me, let's go fight over here. You know what I mean? There's an opportunity over. So, you know what I mean? That means that, they're not just trying to lock me up. They want the best for me in my career. And, I'm very grateful for them.
That's awesome, brother. Just a couple more for you, man. Dana White is getting into boxing. He's planning on having a Zuffa belt and just kind of not recognizing the other belts. I believe the ring he's going to recognize, but he's going to have his own belt. I don't know what's your thoughts on that.
I think to each their own. You know what I mean? If he wants to make his own boxing league, then he could do it. This sport is big enough for more than one promoter. But it's going to be a little bit weird because it's like, imagine if there's another football league that doesn't acknowledge the Super Bowl or the NFC or the AFC. You know what I mean? But the people that don't make it into PBC, Golden Boy, all them, there's also another avenue for them here. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. You know what I mean? If people, they want to go over there and fight for the Zuffa belt or the UFC, or Dana White, they can. I just would advise them is to make sure they have their lawyer looking at every single contract and to make sure everything is good before they sign any type of deal.
Yeah. Man, just a guy that you have a lot of history with, obviously. Triple G is up for the Hall of Fame this year. I don't know why, but apparently a lot of people are kind of, I've just heard chatter about, like maybe, I don't know if he deserved it and things like that. I feel that he is a Hall of Famer. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
He's definitely a Hall of Famer. I've heard that too. I heard a lot of dumbass people say stuff that he's not a Hall of Famer, this and that. But Gennady Golovkin is that type of fighter that he didn't get a lot of opportunities because people didn't want to fight him. It's not that he didn't want to fight him. I was around when Gennady Golovkin was coming up, and he tried to give fights to everybody because we would talk about it in his training camps. I would see him. So, but he did everything in his power. He's devastating punching. When Gennady Golovkin would fight, it was different. You know what I mean? So I think now there's a lot of, how should I put it? There's like a lot of rookie commentators and people that just because they have an Instagram or they have a little YouTube page that they just want to talk shit about everybody. But these guys, like I said, bro, like it's getting out of hand. These people don't know shit about boxing. Like these people just talk out of their ass, and just because they have a platform, they think that they can say whatever about the great fighters that we're in the time that we're boxing that I was coming up in. You know what I mean? These fighters are legends, bro. Gennady Golovkin is a legend. I've been in the gym with that man. He's a great man in and out the ring, and he definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you, brother. Just last one for me, man. I know you got to get out of here. Just recently, I saw you, just talking about Jesus and God and your faith, and your dad had said, you've got more into your faith and you're meditating more. Just was there a moment that kind of inspired that? I don't know, more recently, or kind of where did the it seems like it's maybe not like new necessarily, but it's like fresh, and it's like something that you're very devoted to now. Just can you
so it's at the beginning I just wanted to get a feel for myself. I didn't want to really talk about it because I wanted to put the work in. I wanted to do my prayers. I wanted to take the time for myself. I wanted to talk to God, and I wanted to meditate. So I started talking about it more because I really see the change in myself. It's definitely to help me, and back then I made mistakes like in my life and stuff. So I felt like I needed to change something in my life, and I had never really been big into religion or nothing, but I just felt like Jesus Christ and God Almighty, it's a frequency that you have to connect to. And the way you connect to that, is showing that, you're worthy of the blessings, So I just had so much blessings in my life. I'm like, why am I not taking 20, 30 minutes to give my thanks to God, you know, every single day. And as I started to do that, I started seeing more blessings in my life. I started to feel more strength in myself, more confidence in myself. And, you know, it really started working for me. You know, I became a better man. You know, I became a better athlete. I became a, you know, a better father, better husband, and a better son. You know what I mean? And now that I really know that this stuff works, you know what I mean? Just having faith and believing in Jesus Christ and God. And, you know, I feel like it's my duty to, you know, if people listen to me or not, you know, that's their choice. But for me to let them know that, hey, this stuff works. Like, look at me. I didn't really believe in God. I didn't really believe in this stuff back then. But you know what I mean? I started doing it for myself, and it really works. You know what I mean? I just feel like I'm an overall better person, and I just felt like it was my duty. You know what I mean? To let people know that this is a route that you can go. You know, I feel like there's young kids or young men that have problems with alcohol, that have problems with drugs or whatever it is, man. And sometimes these these moments feel like it's unescapable, that you can't get out of this loop, that this is a constant loop that you're just putting yourself through. And you know, what really combats that is, you know, just having faith in God and asking God to help you throughout. And it doesn't even have to even be alcohol or drugs. You know, whatever. Even if you're going through mental illness or mental health, if you ask for God to be there with you and bless you with the knowledge to get out of whatever that you may need to get out of, if you ask, you shall receive. You know what I mean? But just the main part is to never forget that Lord Jesus Christ and God Almighty is there with you. You know what I mean? And so I felt that, you know, I felt that for myself. And not only that's why I have so much confidence in myself, even in these big fights. You know what I mean? They give me so much strength that I feel like I have God on my side, that nothing can mess with me. And that's why I'm calling for these big fights, because I have the confidence. You know, I don't care. I know if I work hard and I keep God in my life, that, you know, I will manifest whatever I want to manifest in my life. And you know, just it helps me. It helps me with everything, like as being a good person, being helping out my community, helping out my people. And you know, I feel like if people follow that, you know, it could definitely benefit their life.
Right. No, brother, 100%. Couldn't said it any better. If God is with you, nothing could be against you, right?
Mm-hmm.
David, thank you for your time, brother. Can't wait to see you do your work November 22nd on the zone against Anthony Yarde. Blessings, brother, to you and your family, man. Good seeing you.
Thank you, brother. Likewise.
Good seeing you, man.